Oh crap! I gotta find the name of that show. All right, so there's a show. I don't know if y'all have ever seen it, where it's like the dude is sitting on a couch. It's like 2 or 3 guys sitting on the couch getting hot, right? And they talk about shows, other shows, right? And guess who? I got one recorded with Rob Van Dam and Sabu on it. So, one of these times y'all come over, we'll sit down and watch it. But this dude is like blazed. I hope that didn't show up on there. I mean, like,
thank God, one.
Really keep his eyes open, blazed. You know what? I'm gonna put on Big Trouble in Little China.
Part of Brian will be played by Dead Silence.
Now that's what Escape from New York. I love that one too. I love them little stupid camping ones.
I love those movies. That and Escape from LA.
Yeah, Snake Plissken.
Never seen them.
What? Oh. All right, here we go. Ready?
Jump off your bed and land head first right now.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another live edition, Spreaker exclusive. Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio is live on Spreaker.com. Come one, come all, bring your friends, bring your family. The Triple Threat is in the house. Stan Grubb, of course, and the cohorts, the partners in crime, the Doctor of Desire is in. Brian, what's up, buddy?
What's going on? However, Rob is going to be banished to the Phantom Zone for never seeing Big Trouble in Little China, Escape from LA, or Escape from New York.
Yeah, that's breaking news. Rob has never seen. I can't believe it. I'm stunned, really, because Rob's a pretty good movie buff. So.
I know.
Wow. Hey,
movie night. That's what we're going to do, movie night.
Moving, of course, to the killer himself, one half of the Bad Boys. What's up, Rob?
What's happening? That segment was brought to you by Who Cares?
Oh, don't you dare.
Wow. Rob, hey, I wanted to tell you something that you might find interesting.
Monkey bone.
In navigating Netflix and their movie selection, I did find a movie from 1998.
Hush your mouth.
The hit. The Hollywood superstar is here. Hush. Starring Rob Hefner. And this girl named Gwyneth Paltrow. You may have heard of her. It's actually on Netflix, Rob. You were on Netflix.
Hey, I have arrived, dude. I found it at Goodwill. I'm like, sweet.
Did you get a credit in the back? I don't remember if we ever discussed this or not.
I don't think so.
Like the tall guy at the wedding, did you not get that credit?
I don't know. I've speaking of movies I've never watched.
Your own. He's never watched his own movie.
Stan, Rob's like, you're as big as Hollywood as I do. You don't live on hype alone.
He just doesn't have time. He's such a busy man.
Is he busy?
I don't have time to watch the past. Keep moving forward.
It's all about the present, man. Yeah.
You should write a Hush too. What's her name gets killed?
Yeah, have her stand in the wrong spot and then bang, done.
Mm-hmm.
Holla, holla.
Rob's like, end scene.
and that's the end. It's like a 2-minute short film.
Whose mark is it now?
Rob just standing over with a shotgun. I told you.
Play the old Hulk music from the TV show.
Long, slow walk.
And I just stand there going, wait.
Sister Nero, I knew you'd come. Oh, goodness gracious. Man, it's a busy, busy wrestling week. 1 week away from No Mercy. No, not No Mercy. Clash of Champions. Man, next Sunday is Clash of Champions.
Yeah.
Raw's official debut as pay-per-view or WWE Network event or $9.99 per view. Before we go
or as
too
we like
far,
to call it, hopefully better than the last one.
Right, exactly. But before we go too far, we want to give our thoughts to one Fast Eddie Lane, who is helping his father get better in the hospital. Eddie, our thoughts are with you, buddy. I hope your dad gets well very soon.
Correct.
Amen.
For you.
So, got a lot to talk about.
He's a guy in China, and he's really cool.
In little China. No.
The best part of that, I don't want to do spoilers. Daggone it. Rob's never seen it. I don't even know what to do.
Yeah, really. That's like The Princess Bride. Who's never seen The Princess Bride?
Rob,
Oh,
you've seen that. Don't even try. This is the guy that used to go through the high school saying, "My name is Anita Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die." A lot of the administrators didn't like that, by the way.
Alrighty. So was there anything Monday to discuss?
Not really. The now apparent tensions between Stephanie McMahon and Mick Foley seems to continue to unfold. Some tensions with some members of the roster on both Raw and SmackDown as they're renegotiating their contracts. We'll get to that when we get to SmackDown. But Jack Swagger apparently unhappy with his role on Monday Night Raw, so he makes his debut Tuesday as well. Kevin Owens is officially facing only Seth Rollins at Clash of the Champions because Rusev, the United States champion, saved us once again from a Roman Reigns main event that didn't need to be.
I don't know if he saved us for the fact that we now have to deal with him again.
Oh, he's your U.S. champion, buddy.
He's not my champ.
He's your champ.
Well, if you had to choose, all right, it's kind of like between getting shot in the foot or shot in the arm. You want to watch Rusev and Roman Reigns, or Roman Reigns in the main event?
Rusev, Roman Reigns. That's my book.
Delete.
Let's see here. Seth Rollins apparently will have some kind of repercussions from his interference on Monday Night Raw's main event, but we really don't know what that's going to be yet. So that could be maybe Owens gets to choose a stipulation. Maybe Seth Rollins actually gets suspended and can't make the main event. Who knows? It'd be kind of cool if they had a surprise return.
Yeah, it'd be kind of cool if they had some kind of stipulation of something.
So, with the things that we're seeing right now on Monday Night Raw, their build up towards Clash of Champions seems pretty solid. I think that they're doing an honorable job of getting ready for their first pay-per-view, their first solo pay-per-view. I feel like when we're comparing what Backlash had versus now Clash of Champions, they've got a more readily available program there, and it feels like it's just built up better.
I would agree.
Yeah. I'm getting tired of these triple threat main event world title matches, though.
Yeah, I think they get old. I think the whole multiple person matchup is getting old. Like the 5-person challenge on SmackDown to declare the new number 1 contender for the women's title. Thought that was kind of dumb. With the apparent build-up to Sasha versus Bayley versus Charlotte for the women's title on Raw, I mean, it's hard to say how that's really going to play out.
I mean, I don't understand if you're trying to do Bayley versus throw Bayley in there to take the attention off of Sasha because maybe Sasha's not 100%.
Or trying to figure out a way to. It's just. I'm with you. It's unanimous. I mean, I'm tired of the 3 people main events. I'm tired of the main events that they make the night after the last pay-per-view. That so now for the next, all you have is promos and stupid angles, and let's have an honest angle that goes on for a little while. That I mean, we did it with a couple matches that didn't reach the main event. Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, Cesaro. We move it up the card a little bit.
Well, I mean, Rob Stradamus, I think you've probably still got the inside track. I mean, look at what happened. Look at what happened on Raw. As Rob successfully predicts, as the layout goes, as Cesaro wins the second victory there in the best of 7. Well, the 5th, but it's his second win, coming closer to evening it up. And I believe this Monday is match number 6.
And isn't it a coinky dink that they're just gonna have to go into Clash of Champions with a tiebreaker?
Because that never happens, really.
I mean, why would that happen? Just happen to be at the same time a pay-per-view is. I mean, come on now, guys.
Sudden death.
But, I mean, my whole thing, and I've said it from the beginning, what are they fighting the best of 7 for? You know, when the best of 7 with, Nikita and Magnum, it was the U.S. title, And for other best of 7s, there's always been something for it. Be it a title shot, be it something. This just seems like to be a best of 7 because, hey, we have nothing else to do with you two.
I agree. I mean, I don't know what they're trying to pull off with Sheamus either. So, I mean, with either guy winning, the rumor now is that it's going to be for a title shot, a future title shot, not a designated actual time frame.
So, in other words, like what they can do is say, hey, let's just take, I don't know, AJ, Dolph Ziggler. Hey, Dolph, we have nothing for you to do right now. So what we're going to do is you're going to be in the best of 20 series with Jack Swagger.
A best of 20? Shoot me now. Well, I mean, so let's take it one step further. As we look at the SmackDown layout, we've got AJ Styles in seemingly a triple threat scenario with Dean Ambrose and John Cena, which Cena making a kind of a surprise return. He wasn't really expected back this soon, I don't think. I wonder if perhaps they're getting a little nervous.
Well, I think... Go ahead, Brian.
I mean, I don't see why you're going to get nervous. You got the hot hand in AJ Styles, and probably the next biggest one, and if Cena ain't there, and Dean Ambrose. So the first match was really good. So why couldn't they add to it? So I think they just. I don't know why they're bringing Cena back. They should have played it out a little bit longer, I think.
I think the concern is that with all of these bad guys that they're developing on SmackDown, and they really are developing quite a few, they're running out of heroes. They're running out of guys that they can count on to really be the main good guy on the roster.
Yeah,
but do you want to... Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I mean, they haven't really put any real desire behind Dolph Ziggler. And behind Dolph and seemingly AJ Styles with the reactions that he's getting, and John Cena when he's there, who else is there that takes over that main event role? I guess you could say Randy Orton as far as popularity.
Yes, Randy. I think you could probably flip somebody if you've done it correctly. I think you could probably flip The Miz and get the crowd behind them again if done correctly.
Off a building? Yeah.
Oh, stop it.
The crowd would be behind that one, I can tell you.
Right now, he's got the most in that championship than any of the other ones do. Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think it's time for them to build a big, long storyline with that world title. Instead of you got AJ versus Dean Ambrose, now you got John Cena coming out, and it's not going to be long till Randy Orton sticks his nose in it. So I mean, unless they're building up to do, elimination chamber type thing, I don't understand what they're doing. But I just think if they bring John Cena back and they put John Cena right back in the main event picture like looks like they're doing, it's going to make your fan base just like, what's the point? You know what I mean? Like, here he is again. Yay.
I kind of think that's where he should be. Because without a doubt, Cena is your Austin, your Hogan, your Rock of the current roster. So he literally does bring you millions. So
Well, I mean, I agree. I think it's inevitable that he's going to break the streak, and I think it's going to be sooner than later. And I think that, excuse me, I just think a streak like that should be broken at WrestleMania. And I think we're too far away from WrestleMania to start a John Cena world title push.
Yeah, but wouldn't this one tie it and not break it? I mean, doesn't he need 2 to break it?
Needs 2 to break it, needs 1 to tie it.
Right. So you could always have him win it and then AJ get it back and then, a big feud leading into WrestleMania where, of course, he would win and break the record.
Now, would you have Ric Flair tied in there at all? Or would you just have, like, Ric Flair be like, congratulations, pal.
Crazy Rick. We want Crazy Rick back.
You come back, he'll be naked.
Fire me, I'm already fired. Fire me, I'm already fired.
I wouldn't mind. To me, when he breaks it, because I'm sure he will, especially if he ties it,
mm-hmm.
I think it would be nice to see Rick at least, present the title to him. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So where it's like him and AJ, if he ties it now and then lose it again, and then, let's say WrestleMania gets another match for it, to have Rick there, he doesn't have to be at ringside, but just there to, if he should win it, come down to the ring and present it to him.
Mm-hmm.
I think that'd be a powerful moment, that's for sure. And I think Cena breaking the record at WrestleMania is definitely his best bet. I think that is where you want to be.
Yeah, I mean, because to me, you've seen, matches where the torch gets passed,
mm-hmm.
but you've never seen anything on this scale where the greatest wrestler of all time is going to pass that mantle, to Cena.
I would probably.
And I mean, of all the active wrestlers.
Yeah, I mean, but I would probably want to see Flair drop him just for old time's sake.
Well, but to me, it's kind of like what the club did to the Dudleys.
Mm-hmm.
What's the point in dropping them if you're not going to get, if there's no match in the future? And Flair and Michaels was pretty good for what it was, but there's no way Flair could stay in the ring with Cena in his present condition.
I'd be afraid if he took an attitude adjustment. I was about to call it the FU. I'd be afraid if he took an attitude adjustment that Flair wouldn't get back up.
Yeah, I mean that's what if he was maybe 10 years younger.
Yeah,
that would be kind of cool. But I just seen have him pass it and be done with it. And then we can wait and see who's going to beat Cena.
So, kind of moving forward here, Alexa Bliss is now the #1 contender for Becky Lynch's women's title. Did not see this coming for Alexa Bliss.
I mean, I think she on the roster, she's the next diva that's ready to go. I mean, you have your Nikki Bella, but I just don't see Nikki Bella in the title picture at this point. I was kind of looking at Nikki Bella and John Cena as wanting to do like a part-time schedule for a little while. And then all of a sudden, boom, he's in the main event or wanting to be in the main event. But I just didn't see anybody else. I mean, Carmella's got this whole angle with Nikki going, and her crowd. The crowd is not behind her. The Queen of Staten Island just doesn't have it.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I'm glad that they're sticking with that feud, that they're giving Carmella a chance to work with Nikki Bella, because what that does is it elevates Carmella. But the crowd doesn't even boo her. They don't make a peep, really. When she comes out, her music plays. I mean, I think that's part of the problem. Right now, her music and her entrance is basically the female Enzo Amore. And she's got to change it. She's got to do something a little different. Maybe she cuts her hair. Maybe she does like a classical entrance, you know what I mean? Like with the instrumental or something. I don't know. It's difficult to buy into her as good guy, bad guy, or whatever when she can't generate a reaction.
I think that the crowd would be behind this gimmick of hers if she was on Raw. If she was on Raw with them,
right,
then they would be behind it. But now it's just like with her being on SmackDown, it looks like a poor attempt at trying to get the same reaction on two shows. And, I mean, I'm with you. Either they put her with them or they make her change her gimmick. Is what I think.
Go ahead, Brian.
Again, she may have been one that they brought up when they couldn't have brought her up. And it might have been better to have brought up Asuka and left her down there to feud for the world title. You know what I'm saying?
Well, and that's something
know
I
what I'm saying?
When I watched the most recent NXT episode, aside from Asuka, that women's division is light.
Yeah.
It is.
Well, I mean,
really...
you brought up everybody. You brought up everybody who was holding it together.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you brought up Bayley. You brought up Carmella. You brought up the Red Witch. You brought up...
Red Witch.
Wow. Okay.
Like it is, son.
And you brought up, female rock.
Yeah,
so,
Nia Jax, yeah.
But to me, though, if you're gonna bring these people up, you should have brought up some, again. I mean, think about this: Asuka, Charlotte, Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Bayley. Oh wow! You talk about a strong women's division, even spread on 2 shows.
Then what do you do with Nikki Bella, Natalia?
Well, you can keep them up there.
You send them to TNA or send them to...
all they're going to be is supplement or is enhancement talent. That's all they are. That's all they are now. Because the 4 from NXT are going to pass them and make them look foolish. However, there is a place for them on the main roster, but there's no place for Carmella.
Yeah, I mean, Carmella's just at a place. I will give her credit in the ring. She's not bad at all, but she's not generating any kind of heat, any kind of reaction. Fans just kind of see her, and even the fans don't really know what to make of her because she's still doing the same without doing the "I'm the Queen of Staten Island" entrance. She's still doing the fabulous music and coming out and looking at the fans, and she doesn't really seem comfortable in a bad guy role.
Well, I mean, she jumped Nikki Bella.
Yeah.
All right. She jumped Nikki Bella and beat Nikki Bella's ass. Oh, sorry. No,
sir. You can go. Let it fly.
But but the thing is, when Nikki left, Nikki was a heel. The only thing that would not make Nikki a heel, or she hasn't done to be a heel since she's been back, is she had neck surgery. But, I mean, she technically left still as a heel. So when Carmella jumps her,
mm-hmm.
does that not make a face jump a heel? Or does that make, what has Nikki done to be like, besides the whole, who else do we have to fight for this title? Is Wendy Richter available?
Wendy Richter. Oh, wow.
Wait a second. I think
is Rockin' Robin available?
I think I've done figured something out. Rob has apparently been binge watching TNA, and it's in his blood now. He's in that WWE. Rob.
What?
Binge watching TNA.
No.
Weren't you watching it earlier?
I was watching the most recent episode, yes.
I rest my case.
But I'm also now watching Lucha Underground.
I rest my case.
Gotta give Rob credit. He's a very well-rounded wrestling fan.
I only watch TNA because Brian always brings it up and wants to talk about it. So then I'm like, hey, I better watch it so I have something to talk about because Brian always is bringing it up. Because if we rewind this program, this very podcast,
this very program,
this very internet wrestling radio show, it would say the first mention of TNA would be the Dr. Desire. That's right.
Why don't you tell the fans about the empty arena match?
The empty arena match that both people came out and hammed to the crowd that wasn't there?
otherwise known as a TNA live event.
And the problem is that it wasn't supposed to be an empty arena match. Because nobody bought tickets. That's why the guys were all off. They're like, then that first match of the evening, boom, and then it's like, oh, shit.
And Rob totally redeems himself. Well,
It's either nobody was there or somebody forgot to tell security to open the damn door.
Well, let's move on to the event that everybody's been talking about. Wednesday night's Cruiserweight Classic Finals. Zack Sabre Jr., T.J. Perkins, Grand Metalik, and Kota Ibushi.
Bless you.
Thank you. I did not expect T.J. Perkins to win the Cruiserweight Classic. But what a matchup that was. And the finals were amazing. I was really blown away. And how about the Cruiserweight title, guys? What do you think about the unveiling of the brand new Cruiserweight Championship?
Vince definitely didn't have a hand in that belt.
No, he didn't. Because it would have been the WWE World Title, only purple.
Or little.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was trying to figure out how they were going to do it. Like, you know, are they going to, because they're supposedly all the belts are supposed to be like uniform.
Right.
But I like it. I think it's going to be something cool. It's going to be interesting to see how they integrate it on Raw.
Brian,
because they warned us the cruiserweights are coming.
That's right. And they have been prepping it and putting it out there, promoting it really well. Brian, what did you think of Zack Sabre Jr. not making it to the finals?
He's too busy watching TNA.
No. Unfortunately, if I watch TNA, it's in fast forward mode, Rob. So I probably have skipped over the nobody in the arena match. But
don't worry. I just skipped over Maria talking and and Lashley. Anytime Lashley opens his mouth,
I was quite shocked how the finals played out. I figured it would have been Kota and Junior. That would have been the final match. I was again. However, Perkins and Metalik, they put on a hell of a show.
The coolest part of watching that final match was the psychology of both guys. T.J. Perkins worked that leg the entire time. As soon as he noticed it was a hindrance, that was his thing. That's what he did, and he set up for the knee bar finisher. That was great. I loved that. I wish more wrestling matches in WWE would have that.
Yeah, but they're veterans. They've been doing this for a long time. And the thing about them is they have to learn it more than a WWE wrestler would,
right? Because
they have so many different opponents all the time. There's probably little build up to some of the matches they have, other than who's on the card. You know what I'm saying? So they have to learn how to tell the story in the ring, and they did a great job with it.
Now, tonight's format is going to be a little bit different than what you're probably used to, folks, on BeyondRingside.com. We won't be taking a whole lot of commercial breaks per se, but we are going to do some quick promotional materials, some things I've noticed, and I'm sure you guys have a couple things you'll throw out there, so as we go through, we'll just pass it around, see if anybody's got anything they've noticed and they want to advertise. For example, if you have an opportunity to go to Kickstarter.com, check out this latest project called Saturday Nights. Now, you can get to this project at Kickstarter.com/projects/Joe Method/Saturday-Nights, and that's KNIGHTS. An indie wrestling game spotlighting the Young Bucks, Willie Mack, and an exclusive, if you donate to their campaign, the what does he call himself? Mr. Sleaze or something like that? He's bringing Sleazy back, Joey Ryan. There we go. Had to remember his little catchphrase. But anyhow, if you get an opportunity, check that one out. That's going to be a really good one. Also, if you get an opportunity, you want to check out the latest. Let's take a look here. I'm trying to pull up my notes. You know what? Screw it. I'm just going to keep us going, but get an opportunity. Check out Kickstarter.com.
No, sir. I have feelings.
/projects/Joe Method/Saturday-Nights. That's KNIGHTS. Give him a donation, man. Let's get this game off the ground. We need more wrestling games, don't we, guys?
More?
Sure.
Absolutely.
Sure.
What in the world?
Now, before we get to just some basic chit-chat about TNA, because there's some news to talk about with that, Missouri had a house show for SmackDown, and some of the highlighted matches that I noticed was AJ Styles defending against Dean Ambrose successfully, and Apollo Crews... Oh, that's funny?
No, I just love the fact that you're like, let's talk about TNA. Oh, in Missouri, there's a house that had AJ Styles.
no, I said before. Come on, follow along, daggone it. Follow the bouncing dot, Rob.
I'm like, man, that review of this week's action in TNA didn't take long.
Well, it's the empty arena match. So AJ successfully defends against Dean Ambrose, and the non-title Intercontinental title match, Apollo Crews defeated The Miz. I'm wondering if they're trying to set up for that. You know, if they're trying to set up for Apollo being the guy to dethrone the reigning Intercontinental champion.
What is the record for the Intercontinental title? Who has held it the longest? Is it the Honky Tonk Man?
Yeah,
I think it's still the Honky Tonk Man, yeah.
So they're not going to make him keep it for they can't keep the belt on him for like a year or two like they did that.
They could have Santino make another run for it with the honkometer.
But I mean, I think of anybody, I think Apollo Crews would elevate the title even more.
12 years.
I mean, he's a young guy. He's got the talent. If he can stay healthy, because he's another one of those high spot guys. But I think it'd be great.
Yeah, but didn't he just get like lambasted by what's his name?
Baron Corbin.
Corbin, yeah.
Baron Corbin seems to be getting once again, Robster Damas in the house. Baron Corbin seems to be getting the rub as the next big thing, as he's been the lone wolf wanting to call out both AJ Styles and The Miz. I was pretty impressed by that.
I mean, I would put the Intercontinental title on Baron Corbin and then let him ride it out for a little while. You know? He could just be like one of those genuine, just come out, whatever, beat you down, take you back.
Would you stop that?
Come out, help out AJ Styles in a tag team match, and then beat down AJ Styles after, you know? But...
So the question is, with the storyline on SmackDown, and again, we are going to get to TNA in just a moment, the storyline here with SmackDown is Miz is renegotiating his contract on SmackDown, and apparently on Twitter, that's been the highlight, has been negotiations are breaking down between Daniel Bryan and The Miz for renegotiating his contract. What do you guys think of that storyline? Is that something that's too early in the brand split?
I would
For-
say no. I think they need to iron out the rosters a little better, and this could be the way to do it.
Now, what do you mean by the like? What are you trying to get like the Daniel Bryan versus Miz angle, or Miz jumping ship to Raw?
Well, and that's kind of the thing. Miz is basically threatening that no matter what happens, he's going to go where he's the most wanted, whether it's Raw or SmackDown. He's stating he has no loyalties. And, of course, he's still continuing to push and poke at Daniel Bryan to, what seems like build up for a potential match between the two of them. I'm still curious if they bring in more indie guys that Daniel Bryan knows.
I think I'm kind of right with Brian. I think starting this whole angle of I don't like my contract on Raw, I'm going to go to SmackDown. You're not building an identity for your brand.
Right.
It's still like one company, and oh wait a minute, I don't want to wrestle on Mondays, I want to wrestle on Tuesdays. Or vice versa, because they could work the angle. They could say, fine, if you want to leave, you can leave, but the Intercontinental title belongs on SmackDown, and you're not taking it with you. So then he has to wrestle, do like the whole, if you want to keep that belt, you're staying on SmackDown. So then it gives him more of a reason to fight, I guess. I don't know.
Well, and there when you kind of watch what Miz has been doing, at least with this past week, stated that he's going to be calling his own shots from now on. So he has an opportunity to defend or a rematch with Dolph Ziggler without having the belt on the line, just a match between the two of them. To find out an actual winner is what Dolph Ziggler said. Where instead, Miz says, no, I'm not doing the rematch, and then jumps into, and yet again, poor James Ellsworth just can't catch a break. Gets his big opportunity, a return to WWE, and a debut on SmackDown as AJ Styles' tag team partner, which I thought that was hilarious. But The Miz jumps him from behind, beats the tar out of him, and is now AJ Styles' partner during that main event.
Yeah. You couldn't see that coming?
I didn't think that. I
there
actually
was no
would
way
like to
that
see
Ellsworth,
just to be funny.
I was right there with you, but there was no way that Ellsworth guy, no offense to him, if he's listening, would have gone through the curtain with AJ Styles in a main event.
I liked when Daniel Bryan introduced him to AJ Styles, and Styles wouldn't shake his hand. He's just staring at him.
I was kind of hoping that AJ would have beaten both Cena and Ambrose by himself, leaving the guy on the corner of the ring, and then he would have just rolled in and gotten a pin on one of them, where AJ had his back turned or something. I thought that would have been fantastic.
He's the champ that runs
the camp.
The camp.
What the hell was that, by the way? The champ that runs the camp. Was it Camp WWE all of a sudden?
Well, that's right up there with old Jack Swagger coming out and you could tell he had 3 or 4 too many before he got the full shape. You're going out there, buddy. What?
I'm kind of hoping they do the All-American gimmick again. That was pretty funny.
Well, I think it was a great angle. And as long as you don't don't partner him with a Swiss, doing All-American.
Wait a second. Yeah, the first comment he makes is forget everything you know about Jack Swagger, because it's going to be trouble. We're going to be a lot of trouble for everybody else, is what he says, which made no sense. And then he did the We the People shtick.
Yeah. Forget about anything you know, but you can't see me.
Oh, God. That would have been funny if he just mocked Cena. That would have been really cool. And then, of course, now Swagger's going to get fed to Corbin.
Yeah, well, you almost got to wonder why they didn't take him and pair him with Rusev, like they have done in the past. The great All-American finally turns, oh, my God, America sucks.
They could have called him the Cold War Connection.
Oh, my God. USA, Hak Tui. We love you, Shiki, baby. Let's see. Okay, so, we've talked about SmackDown. We've talked about the Cruiserweight Classic. We've talked about Monday Night Raw. How about this? In the news this week, of course, Billy Corgan talking about making an attempt to purchase TNA and to finalize the deal. But with what we've got going on right now, apparently the WWE and the Sinclair Broadcast Group have put in bids as well to purchase TNA.
Who's the Sinclair Broadcast Group?
Sinclair Broadcast Group is who has a partial ownership in Ring of Honor.
Yeah. The more I read about TNA management, the more I'm like, oh my God, that's got to be a wacky place. Because TNA is like owned by 4 individual entities with all like equal shares. And it's crazy. Like, I think Dixie Carter has her shares. Billy has shares. 2 other companies supposedly have shares. I don't see how they get anything done.
Well, and if you ask any of their talent that has left their roster, they're right in agreement with you. They don't see it either.
I don't know. Dixie ought to screw Vince and give her shares to Billy so he has a majority stake, and then let him do what he wants.
Well, here's a question. So let's say WWE yet again buys out their quote-unquote competition. How soon before the doors of TNA closes?
If they were smart, which, I mean, they are smart, let me tell you, but the best way to handle this is the way they should have handled WCW. You have the chance to buy an independent federation that already has its own airtime. It already has its own roster. It already has the machine running. It just needs the business-minded people to run it. Makes sense? And WWE has that. So it's like, and then plus, it's more of a place to put your talent. These people that you want to bring in, and yet another developmental whatever. But what I would do is keep it separate. If WWE bought it, I would keep it separate.
But I think here's the ultimate problem, and you brought it up. They're going to do exactly what they did to WCW. If they tried an invasion angle, it would fall flat on its face. They would close the doors. Half the guys that, should be on TV won't be on TV. You'll get some, again, they'll shut it down. And to me, they need more, not really competition, but there needs to be more product out there.
Mm-hmm.
Well, plus the contract price of their talent roster isn't that high. It's not like when they bought WCW. I mean, WCW's contracts were ridiculous at the time.
But the best part is they didn't have to pay for them.
Yeah, that's true. Turner paid for them.
Like if the guys were the like Sting and those guys, they just sat at home and collected a paycheck. But
well, I mean, you had a multi-million-dollar contract. That there's really no reason for them to be concerned about that.
But you got to think. Eventually something's got to happen for TNA to stay viable in the company and in the business and not become an afterthought or a laughing stock. Something needs to happen.
Sure, they need better stories, the better product. I think they could remain relevant if they had a better product. Their numbers are starting to move, and they're fluctuating. They'll go up and they'll go back down, but they're not going down for the sake of dropping and staying there. They're actually starting to pick up viewers. Now, they shouldn't be looked at as the number 2 company. It should be looked at just like, it's another wrestling show. But they just need a better product.
Now, do you think if legit, if WWE's offer is actually legit, do you think it could be the fact that WWE sees the potential in TNA and wants to nip it in the bud and get it gone before it comes.
No, I think Vince is going to be Vince and buy out the competition. Because to me, TNA would be on the level of Next. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Even though it's big name, they got some big name talent. That's where they are. That's what they have to compete against. Well, in order to get Next over, you got to kill off that competition, because for the last 40 years, that's what he's done. In order for him to get bigger and better, he had to kill off competition. So, I mean, he could go buy Evolve and, do something with that as opposed to TNA.
I think that's a valid point. I mean, with what we've seen of what WWE has done in the past, if they truly did purchase TNA, I'm pretty sure the doors would get shut. They'd keep the talents that they wanted, and they would just simply add the video library to the network.
All right, so here, and this is what I worry about. Out of all the talent you have, who would you keep?
On the TNA roster?
Yes.
That's a great question. Let's pull up the TNA roster and break that down.
Well, let's start with, let's say, Gail Kim, your top female wrestler.
Yes.
There's history. She's probably not going back.
I would say she wouldn't go back. I think that Triple H and Vince would be open to her going back and going to NXT and helping to carry that division into the next level. But I would agree. I don't think she'd want to do it.
Right. So there's that. Maria, there's history. Would she want to go back?
If, in fact, they brought on Michael Bennett, yes.
But that's the question. To me, Mike Bennett's not quite in that, location to be in the WWE. Maybe NXT. You know what I'm saying?
Maria doesn't come back for anything other than ring ballet. There's no way that she could carry anything to the ladies that are in the ring today.
Right. So
Yeah,
again, with
I agree
Mike Bennett, it's a package deal. Are you going to invest in a package deal?
But with Mike Bennett, how many of that package does one company need? And when you already have Bobby Roode, and you already have, because you would pick up Eric, you've already got Eric Young, you've got, they would pick up James Storm. How many Bennetts would you need?
Well, here's the other question about Mike Bennett.
He just kicked him in the face. Sorry.
When Bennett left ROH, did he even get a phone call from the WWE? Did they even offer him anything? Did they call? If the answer is no, then he doesn't come with the company.
From what I'm aware of, when he got signed by TNA, it was kind of a shock. Nobody really predicted that to happen.
Right. So, there again, if the WWE wasn't interested in them before, are they going to be interested in them now? So
Okay.
then you got the Hardys, who would be a great talent to bring. Is the WWE going to sign them?
I don't foresee the Hardys doing anything more than what the Dudleys did. You bring them back for a few more matches, a few more high spots, give them a little bit of press or creds, you put them in the WWE Hall of Fame, out.
Well, let me kind of add to that. Here's the thing. With the broken Matt Hardy and the broken Hardys faction now, and how over they are, I think carrying that over into WWE would be massive. And I think they would capitalize on it, at least in the short term.
But would they do it? Do you actually think Vince would sit back and say, you've got a drone that flies around, and that's just the coolest thing in the world?
Now, could you hear it? Could you hear that you got Enzo and Cass sitting there having a match, and maybe they lost again, and then you hear Matt Hart, the stadium goes dark and you hear Matt Hardy's voice go, "Brother Nero, we have ourselves some people." You know,
Mr.
like go,
McMahon.
Mr. Meekman, and it's different, like whatever.
It's the Hardy dialect. I think that's the only way you can describe it.
I mean, truly, do I think the Hardys could have another run in WWE? Yes. I mean, wasn't it advertised that Jeff Hardy would have another WWE run? I mean, I thought that was advertised a year ago that he was coming for the WrestleMania.
Well, I mean, Jeff was talking about rehabbing his knee injury that he had last year, and his comments have, for as long as I can recall, been that he would go back and finish his career in WWE.
Yeah, I mean, I think in this tag team, in the tag teams they have now, the Hardys would be so like crazy over.
Mm-hmm.
But again, you have history with Matt Hardy, you have some history with Jeff, and would they bring the personas they are now? Would they allow them to continue? Because if they go back to Matt and Jeff, they're just Matt and Jeff.
Well, I mean, I think they'd give Jeff Hardy yet another main event run. I think Matt would probably, unfortunately, fall to the wayside.
Now, question: SmackDown or Raw?
I put
for
them
the Hardys?
with SmackDown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
For both of them, because like if you did it, you could go Jeff main event and Matt your IC title run,
Right.
and that would be where they would should fall out perfectly.
I would actually do that and then give them a one last tag title run as the Hardys.
Mm.
Let them
Against
hold them all.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I think probably what would happen, and of course this is just us playing arbitrary quarterback, of course, but what I'm thinking would happen if they did it was they'd probably give the Broken Hardys a short-term run, probably a tag team title feud, if anything, maybe a title win. Then that would go away naturally. They would just write it off. Somebody would beat them up, and they'd have to heal up, come back, and they'd be the Hardys again. They do Rob's prediction there of another tag title run. I think that Jeff Hardy would still have another main event run. I mean, I would love to see how he would fare against Kevin Owens or AJ Styles, John Cena, whatever the case may be. I think he would work. And I think Matt Hardy, you have to give him credit. He really has reinvented himself and brought himself back into relevance, really. I mean, he's a relevant performer now.
But again, would the WWE bring in the circus that we all love to watch, with the Broken Hardys? And without the Broken Hardys, to me, they don't quite, live up to where we're putting them.
Are you kidding? How about the Broken Hardys versus the Wyatts? Another
Correct.
compound match.
But again, if you don't bring the Broken Hardys,
Right.
and they're just Matt and Jeff, well, then they kind of fall into, to me, the category of the Dudleys.
Right.
It's Matt and Jeff. They're here. Whereas with the Broken Hardys, them vignettes, that's what you watch for, to see how crazy they get this week.
I agree. I mean, I think that's probably one of the few things that still generates new fan interest in TNA.
Yeah, and again, if Matt can't get up there and talk in that broken Southern English,
we'll call it the Hardy dialect.
yeah, the Hardy dialect, and he can't get up there and say delete, I don't think they would rise to a certain level. But if you bring them in with the circus,
Mm-hmm.
then I think you could do everything we've talked about, and it would be over.
I think Moose would get signed.
Okay? So Moose
Yeah.
is one definite.
Yep.
One key,
EC3,
correct.
Drew Galloway.
Do you think Drew would go back?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do. I think he would. I think with Drew Galloway, there wasn't a whole lot of history there. There wasn't a burned bridge. They just didn't have anything for him to do. His hand injury that he had for the majority of the time he was with the three-man band kept him out of the ring, and that was what ultimately cost him his job.
Okay, so you're Drew. They didn't have nothing for you last time. Now there's 2 shows and it's watered down. Do you think they got something for you this time?
Sure, send him to NXT. I mean, now it's not NXT when it first started. A lot of people were like, I don't know. You know, it was like people were bummed when Zack Ryder got shifted down to NXT. Now NXT is its own entity. It's not a feeder system. I mean, it is and it isn't. So competition-wise, competitiveness for him, I think would be the same, if not stepped up a notch, with him versus the likes of Samoa Joe and Shinsuke Nakamura.
You think Drew Galloway could go against Shinsuke Nakamura?
Thank you, Rob.
I'm not saying he'd go long.
I'm like,
It's possible. It's possible.
I mean,
should
shit.
ask. It's possible.
shit, you might as well just throw that indie guy that was in there last week against Shinsuke Nakamura.
Maybe they can get the milkman, Gary Millman, against Shinsuke.
All right, so who else are we missing?
Well, I mean, James Storm would be picked up. He'd go to NXT, and eventually he'd work with Bobby Roode. And I think he's probably on his way there anyway. I think his next step is NXT again, and then main roster for a short term. Honestly,
yeah.
I think James Storm is probably preparing to retire.
Well, that's possible.
I mean, he's had a very successful run as a professional wrestler in general. NWA Tag Champ, TNA Tag Champ. He did have a short run in NXT. If he retired today, he could call it a success. And I think if TNA stayed around, they'd put him in the Hall of Fame.
What about Beer Money versus the Revival?
Oh, my God. I'm in. That, Brian, that would be glorious.
No, we couldn't call him glorious at that point. Now, what do you think about Beer Money versus the Wyatts?
Ooh, that'd be hard-hitting. I'd
In a
like
cage.
that. Yeesh.
In a cage.
Yeah.
And
Luke
we're
Harper and
we're
Eric Rowan.
talking Luke Harper. No, I'm talking Luke Harper and Bray Wyatt.
Oh, okay.
I think would be much better for you, Bun.
I think that would work.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Women's division. You've got Allie, who used to be known as Cherry Bomb. Probably NXT bound. I think she'd get a nod. Who else is on their women's roster? Gail Kim. We already talked about her.
Mm-hmm.
I feel bad, but I really can't remember a majority of their women's roster.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of indicative as to the state of the game for them right now.
Madison Rain. I
could see her NXT.
Yeah, she would be a big pickup, a good pickup.
I would have to say no because of the fact that she is married to Josh Matthews, and Matthews burned a whole lot of bridges when he left WWE.
Well, that don't mean nothing. Paige is going out with Del Rio, and she's about to come back.
That's a good point. What do you guys think of that? What do you think?
It's not the first. It's not the first time. It's not the first time WWE's hired somebody just to make their spouse lives live in hell.
Yeah,
that's true. That is true.
I mean, I could see Del Rio go to TNA, but Paige is going to be back on the roster. She's going to go. She'll take her lumps.
Okay, well here's the roster breakdown. Marty Bell, I think she'd get picked up and go to NXT. She's part of, what do they call it, the Dollhouse?
Well, no, not anymore. That hadn't been around for several months. When Taryn Terrell left the Dollhouse, pretty much, I think they picked up Rebel, and then once Rebel went out, there's no more Dollhouse.
Let's see here. So there's also
Jade.
Jade. So yeah, I think Maya Jade would, or Maya Yim, whatever her name is now, would get picked up. Again, I think she would go to, gosh, what do they call NXT? Jeez, can't get it right. Sienna.
What do they call it?
Yeah, right. Sorry, guys. Rebby Sky. I think
They
she
call
would
it
go
the
in.
Holy Trinity of Wrestling, okay?
I think Rebby Sky would go with the Hardys. Rosemary or Crazy Mary from Decay. Yeah. I think Decay.
Oh, yeah.
I think Decay as a group has a possibility of getting picked up. I don't think they'd last long because I think Abyss's fear of WWE would overtake him.
Well, yeah, but to me, that's another group you could very easily put with the Wyatt family.
Somebody got the fiddles going on.
And
Yeah, right. There's a party going on somewhere.
I'm watching Doc Martin. Got some Doc Martin on. I love the BBC.
BBC. Let's see here. Robbie E, no. Rockstar Spud, no.
No.
Tigre Uno, no. Trevor Lee, yes. He'd go
Yes.
to NXT. Tyrus, better known as Brodus Clay, yes. I think he'd
No.
go back.
Yeah, no, I don't know if he would.
Let's see here. Mandrews.
I don't know if they have anything for him.
Who's the other one with Trevor Lee?
Mandrews, Mark Andrews.
Yeah, I think you could pick up both of them and Shane Helms and send them to NXT.
Oh, yeah, I think Shane Helms would go back. He didn't burn any bridges. Again, it was more of a situation. They just didn't have anything for him to do. Plus,
Right.
he had that motorcycle accident shortly after he was released. Let's see here. Mahabali Shera, the guy that gets everybody to dance. Yeah, he'd be good on NXT. I don't know if he'd go any further. Eli Drake, yes. Eddie Edwards and J.V. Richards, yes.
Yes.
But I don't think they'd last long because they've still got the same issues they had with WWE before when they had their tryout on NXT. But I think also at the same time there's a lot to be said for the maturity level as these guys get picked back up. You know, they give an opportunity. Triple H is willing to do it. Bram, no, because of the history with Charlotte. I don't think they'd bring him in. DJZ, the current X Division champion, yeah, I could see him in NXT.
Well, yeah, well, I could see him almost on the main roster, especially with the cruiserweights.
Yeah. Aaron Rex, better known as Damian Sandow, no, I don't think they'd bring him back. And
I think they would.
do you think they would do it just to say that they're willing to give him a chance and then just let him kind of fall away again, or they would do something with him?
This fall, they have nothing for him.
Right. And then, of course, as far as the producer, what's that? Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Al Snow, I think they'd bring him back, put him backstage. Bobby Lashley,
No.
world champion.
Yeah, that would be interesting. I think if they brought him back, they should pair him with Moose and just have a tag team that nobody can beat.
That would be cool.
So,
I could buy in.
I don't foresee him bringing him back because I think the only reason he's where he's at is because there's nobody else to be there right now. That's why he's where he's at in TNA.
Jeremy Borash, no. Josh Matthews, I don't think so. D'Angelo De Niro, better known as Elijah Burke. I'd say yes.
I think you could replace what's his name, Otunga, with him, and that would be pretty good.
Easily. Yeah. Now here's a question. We know that Dixie Carter has been absent from recent tapings. We know that most likely she is done there. If you're Vince McMahon, just like he did with Eric Bischoff, would you bring her in as just a personality instead of an actual authority role or an actual authority?
No.
Yeah, I have to agree with Rob. No. She with at least with Eric, there was something to it.
Mm-hmm.
As much smack as Eric talked, during that whole Monday night stuff, you could bring him in. With her, it would be, oh look, it's Dixie Carter. Yeah.
She's the reason they're in the mess they are.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, she's not the entire soul, but why do you want that somebody in your company that reminds everybody of what,
Yeah.
I agree.
I don't see. I mean, they have enough personalities, unless they're to bring her in to replace like Mick Foley on Raw. I just don't see it.
I think it would be interesting if they did it just like they did with Bischoff, as far as just an on-air personality. I couldn't see her lasting very long because I think she would inevitably either just run its course and she would be done, or maybe she would just get bored. Maybe she just wouldn't want to be involved. It's tough when you look at TNA because they have, just like Brian said, they have been growing. Their viewership is growing, whether it's slowly but surely through DVR or live ratings. But the thing that I've noticed about them is their in-ring product continues to be good. There hasn't really... Can you guys think of really a bad TNA match recently?
Well, I couldn't speak matches because, again, I kind of watched it fast forward.
Right.
The MD Arena match?
Yeah.
With the really bad, like, Rockstar Spud at the end, spitting up blood with the really bad blood capsule he put in his mouth.
For those listening at home, that's Rob with his blood capsule impersonation.
I'm curious, though, if Cody goes there, what that'll do for viewership.
I say you put him in a series with Aaron Rex.
Oh, wow. Talk about a battle of the well, I wouldn't say cast-offs, but former WWE superstars.
That whole top of that roster is nothing but former WWE superstars.
Yeah.
Every last one of them.
How do you recover if you're a producer? Say you guys just took over TNA. You just took over. You've got to clean it up and get it up to 500,000 viewers each week. It's averaging right now about 310 to 325. We're going to give them the benefit of the doubt on those numbers. What's the first thing you do? You take over on that roster. Your first impact. What changes do you make?
Strip everybody of their titles.
Okay.
Then you hold a battle royal. Everybody in there. Everybody in there for one of the titles. Boom. I mean, I like the idea that they used to have about the, what was it? I like the idea where they had the briefcases on and you grab it, and...
Oh, Feast or Fired. Yeah, I did like that also.
I mean, I like that. It got too predictable, when Bobby Roode from Beer Money just happens to pull off, oh, look, he opens the briefcase and it's for a tag team title match. Ah!
Surprise! Oh, wait.
It's like when you watch the TV show and the guest star that week is a guy who's been in a lot of movies and TV and he's really well known, and then, I wonder who did it at the end.
Who killed JR?
But anyway, I think TNA is wrestling's version of a car wreck, and everybody turns in because they got to see what happens.
Oh, I'm not. I won't go with car wreck. They have
train wreck.
I would call them a train wreck because, again, I think they have had some pretty decent product lately. So, again, they're getting talent. The way I would do it is I would have Bobby Lashley go out there and say, well, there ain't nobody in this company that can beat me. Lights go out, come back on. There's Cody Rhodes standing behind him. Cody dumps him in one shot, wins the world title. And without a live TNA event, and you just don't tell people there, and holy cow, the Twitter world's going to blow up.
Right.
And then that's going to get people to turn in next week to see what happens. And then again, you don't let Bobby Lashley get back to that world title You let him go against Galloway and EC3 and Aaron Rex or whatever it is, and some of these other guys. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? That would blow up the next week. Cody Rhodes drops Bobby Lashley in one shot and wins the world title.
I think that would definitely generate a lot of interest and a lot of buzz. I think one of the first things I would do is start realigning the divisions. I think I would take the X division back to strictly the cruiserweight and stop intermingling. You know, what do they call it? Option C? I would stop doing that for a while. I would start just letting that division develop again. I would probably go out and find myself some good free agents, maybe some relative unknowns, and start doing what they used to do and just start promoting from within, not necessarily turning away former WWE talent, but just not going to them first would be my focus. I think I would have to agree. I would take the belt off of Bobby Lashley. I've never really understood the desire to push Bobby Lashley. I don't see him as marketable. I mean, clearly they do, but I've never really understood that. I don't see him as really a marketable champion, much less marketable performer.
He's monstrous. He's big. He should destroy everybody in his path.
And when he talks, he sounds like he's been sucking helium from balloons.
That's crazy. You're a hater.
My name's Bobby Lashley. I'm the World Heavyweight Champion. You can't beat me.
I tell everybody in the room that they can't beat me. And then, hold on.
What
They
is
can't beat me again. And I told you, I'm going to take it.
you
Big
and
cake.
Mark-
Big cake.
Huh?
Next week on Impact, I'm going to take on Howard Finkel.
No, you're not.
I can beat everybody.
Stan always hating on the big guys.
But I like Brian's angle. Like, I really agree with what Brian had to say. I mean, what would make it even better is if they don't announce they hire him. You know, they don't announce, hey, we've hired it. You hold him to, hey, you don't tell people you're with us. You don't tell, you don't let it out. And then all of a sudden, boom, there he is. Boom. Cody Rhodes just beat Bobby Lashley.
I mean, you can very easily learn the lessons of WCW and do exactly what they did and generate viewership. Remember Lex Luger?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when he did his surprise return to WCW, even though WCW didn't, I mean, to Eric Bischoff's point, didn't really want him back, he came in and it was the talk of the town, and they didn't announce nothing. They just let him show up.
To where?
When
Luger, yeah.
The first Monday Nitro.
To what federation are you talking about?
When Luger went to WCW.
No, it's not WCW. Say it, Brian.
What? It's WCW.
W.
No, I'm not fooled with that. You do it.
WCW.
Rick
See?
was another one.
Proved he appeared on the same program twice.
Right. Well, he appeared 2 different programs in one night.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah.
I was dyslexic for a minute.
Yeah. But again, until they started giving up what was going to happen on the net, you were literally flipping back and forth, trying to catch as much crap on both shows as you possibly could.
Yeah, they were really keeping people in suspense.
I want you to think about this. If they had not revealed that Aaron Rex was going to be on TNA and he had just shown up, I'll lay money that Stan, because you don't watch TNA all that often, do you?
No, I watch it, well, not every week, but about every other.
Right. But if he showed up and you didn't know about it and you learned it off of spoilers, I'll bet you'd watch it next week.
Oh, yeah. I think it's a lost art. I think the art of a surprise is just a lost art in wrestling today.
Mm-hmm. Well, the WWE kind of pulls it off a little bit, where they, hide people in hotels, or bring them in the arena last, or bring them in first and hide them under the ring, but it still gets out. But if you value your company, then if you can hide that secret for as long as you can, and again, lights go out, come back on Cody Rhodes. Oh my God. The world blows up. As soon as people find out about it, they're swapping channels. You want to get instant ratings? You let Cody Rhodes and Bobby Lashley have a match that goes about a half an hour. And once it gets out on Twitter, guys like me, you, and Rob, oh my, Cody Rhodes and Lashley, I got to watch TNA, and we'll flip right then and there.
And then we'll fast forward to who wins.
No, if it's live, you got to do it on a live show, so we can't fast forward. And there you go. That's instant ratings. They would probably jump a couple 100,000.
Well, I mean, I think that's a good start. And here we are just armchair quarterbacking it, and I think the ideas that we're putting out there are definitely valid, and they have some bearing. I mean, we've got opportunity there. If you've got access to the kind of money that it takes to run a promotion and to be successful with it,
Pardon me, Billy.
right? Well, I mean, be careful. He might hold you. He might take you up on that.
Hey, I'll head down here and give them some ideas. I don't care.
I would love to see that whole, and I don't really want to see another Monday Night War necessarily, unless they did it right. I would love to see it go back to a point where there was still that element of surprise, and you never really knew what was going to happen next. Because now it's just, I mean, we give Rob a hard time about Rob Stradamus, but honestly, you can peg what's going to happen within about an hour of watching Raw and SmackDown.
And we forgot one of the biggest ones that Rob Stradamus did when he predicted Rusev was going to interfere in the Roman Reigns match to get him out of the triple threat.
That's right.
So it's not hard if you got your little stones out.
And for the rest of the world, you're welcome.
You are welcome.
Rob ruins the main event 2 weeks in advance.
Well, they shouldn't book the shit 3 months in advance.
I got you.
I'm going to challenge you for the world title in April at WrestleMania. So from now until April, you cannot lose that title.
I mean, look at TNA. If TNA had more like homegrown talent and this influx of WWE talent, you could have very easily come up with another invasion angle and probably generated business. But because they only have EC3 and Bobby Lashley and James Storm as kind of homegrown heavyweight contender, material, you can't have a WWE invasion angle. I mean, you don't even have to call it that. You could just be like, hey, we're, kind of like, what was the group with Eddie Guerrero and Saturn and Dean Malenko and Benoit? Well, the Radicals.
Yeah.
Oh, you could have another angle like that, and people are going to eat it up. So, it's missed opportunities to generate
interest.
Yeah.
So, here's the thought. You're coming out of the Attitude Era. You were working in a stable called the Mean Street Posse. Didn't really have a lot going on, but you were popular. You drew some fan interest. You get an opportunity somewhere down the line to go to TNA, and Jeff Jarrett tells you, in order for you to come to TNA, we're going to want you to badmouth the McMahons. Now, if you remember, the Mean Street Posse was good friends with Shane McMahon, both on-screen and off-screen. His best friends. Pete Gas apparently was approached by Jeff Jarrett back in 2004 when TNA was first starting out, and told he could certainly have a job if he were to speak ill of the McMahons and bash them on live television during their pay-per-views. Rob, we'll start with you. Would you have done it?
Nope. Because here's the thing. When it comes to the wrestling business, you never know when you're going to go back. Look at all the wrestlers who've gotten fired from the WWE, shot their mouth off, and then what happens? The one place they would love to go is, ooh, I want to go back to the WWE. No. I'm sorry, my mama told me not to burn the bridge.
Agreed. Brian, what would you do?
To me,
it doesn't matter what you would do. No, sorry. I just had to.
I know what you'll do here. You keep that attitude up, buddy. I know where you live. I will track you down. This thing is a thing of nightmares. You know what I'm saying? You better watch it. I think it would depend on what they wanted me to say. Because in the long run, Vince is kind of used to this crap.
Mm-hmm.
As long as I didn't get crazy over the top with it, I'm sure he would understand. But if I went out there and, just badmouthed his whole bloodline,
right?
I would expect not to go back. But to me, the TNA couldn't have paid me enough money to go out there and say, whereas the WWE could have. So I'm sure the contracts were vastly different. See, whereas in like WCW, they were making millions of dollars. I'll go say whatever the hell you want.
Millions and millions.
Millions of dollars.
Well, I mean, that shows you where the business is. You know what I mean? Is
business.
It's like, if you go and you're playing for the NFL in, Europe, but then the NFL wants you to come in and play, and then they would say, all right, trash the NFL Europe. Well, I mean, who has a bigger contract?
Yeah, that's true. But I gotta agree. I mean, sooner or later, you're gonna want to go back. And when that,
I mean, right? And I mean, I could see, if you were like Brian said, if you're in WWE and they said, all right, bash TNA. If you're already in WWE, But again, how many people we've seen come in WWE and they come in like on fire, and WWE really quickly just smacks them. Pow! No. You have no heat.
Now, here's a question with the controversy with Alberto Del Rio and Paige. If you're TNA, do you sign Alberto Del Rio? Do you put him under contract and give him a major run?
Yes. I don't necessarily have to give him a major run, but I would give him a run. Because they wanted him before, and now they would have another good opportunity to bring him in.
Mm-hmm.
He would be a talent better than what you have. You know what I'm saying? He'd be another main event talent for you. Mm-hmm. And again, it's going to bring a different style to your program, because the WWE wrestles different than the other shows. They have their own little style. And that's what you need. You need, that's why, to go with Galloway. Oh, Gallows. I'm stuck on the club. Drew and the rest of them. So,
and I also think that you could get. I also think right now, if they get him, they could get him at a bargain price they couldn't get him at before.
I think so. I mean, you're going to have to pay the guy, but I think you could get in on the ground floor.
But I mean, you're not going to pay him like what you would have had to pay him before his second WWE run.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, because Alberto now ending his second WWE run abruptly as his first WWE run got interrupted. Now, granted, the first one wasn't his fault. This one is all his fault.
Yeah, I think he kind of did his own death knell there. I agree.
And, I mean, the chances of him going back there aren't that great at this point. So I don't think TNA could grab him for a contract that wait a minute, hold up. I've already burnt the bridge with Ring of Honor. I burnt the bridge with Lucha Underground. So.
Or did he burn those bridges? I don't remember.
I thought his work with Lucha Underground was actually pretty good. I was surprised he left that scene.
I mean, I just think in the abruptness that he left. You know what I mean?
I have a point with that one.
It's like, hey, you're on TV this week, and boom, I'm on WWE next week. Wait a minute. But I've been wrong before, and I'll be wrong again.
I don't know, Rob Stradamus. You seem to have the inside track.
Yeah, you got some, like, crystal stones or something. You got some bad juju or something.
Well, thank you for paying attention to my stones.
He's got the infinity gems at his disposal. All right, so a couple other things that were newsworthy this week. Thoughts go out to Terry Funk. Understand he was not able to perform at the House of Hardcore show. House of Hardcore number 18. He was scheduled to be in Tommy Dreamer's corner in the main event matchup, but unfortunately was not able to attend. He did do a video promo that they aired. But at the end of the
egg-sucking dog.
Daggone it, Rob. At the end of the show, Hornswoggle gets involved, and also getting involved, making, I guess, the save in beating up Hornswoggle and Brian Myers. The one and only Ryback running in and doing the shell shock to Hornswoggle.
Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? You have to bring up Ryback?
Hey, it was in the news, man. What do you want me to do?
Oh, for Pete's sake.
It's called He's Digging for It.
Is
I'm
that
not
you think
digging.
that's...
I'm
Stan
not
has
digging. I was
spent
finding news.
Stan has spent an hour and a half trying to figure out how he can set up talking about Ryback.
Hey,
here we are talking about
don't-
freaking Ryback.
Stan's got something for the big guys.
Oh, my
I
God.
know.
Jeez, guys.
And then he starts talking about stones, and now he's talking about
Whoa.
big guy.
You started talking about stones. You guys are creepy.
I mean, you're a sellout. That's all it is. That's all it is, Stan. You're a sellout. Last
didn't
week
sell
you're
out,
bashing
I bought
guys.
in.
This week you're praising them. I
I'm
don't
not
understand.
praising any. You suck.
He talks about how he came in for the save, that the whole event would have been ruined if it hadn't been for Ryback.
The save. Yep.
We're talking about a guy who legally changed his name to Ryback.
Wow. Like, what level is he playing on right now?
He's on a whole nother level, I guess.
Is that his way of getting around the whole gimmick infringement thing?
Well, that's what he's saying, and in order to avoid any WWE holding him back, as far as basically being booked as Ryback, he's legally changed his name to Ryback Ryan Reeves.
You know, I don't know. Maybe one day he'll have grandkids and regret this move.
Grandpa Ryback.
Hey, Grandpa Ryback, you know, or sitting in the old folks' home. Oh, that's just Ryback. That's
Don't pay
Mr.
him
Ryback.
no mind, dear.
Hey, Mr. Ryback, is it feeding time yet? Put your teeth in.
Well, why do they call you Mr. Ryback? Well, Sonny, back in the day, Vince McMahon didn't know what the hell he was doing, and he fired me.
I was going to teach him a lesson, I say.
I'm the greatest wrestler on the world today. It's time. It's time.
Wait.
Change my diaper time.
And there was this little twerp named AJ Styles, and I was going to go over him at WrestleMania. And
Every wrestling poll had me down, but one man brought me to the top, and that's old Stan Grubb. He always had to bring me up.
Keeping him relevant in today's product.
he never forgot me. He never forgot me.
Is Ryback now like this, like the Pee Wee Herman word of the day? The word of the day is Ryback.
I was just about to do that.
Do what?
You know, when Pee Wee Herman would do that.
I know,
that means
that's
you
why I
had to
did it.
scream.
I did it. When anybody said the word of the day, he'd be like, ah! Gary, all up would scream.
If there was rails here, we'd be off them.
So I
And
think,
there's no Eddie to keep us on them.
I think we're gone.
I don't think we were ever there.
Man. Hey, quick update.
Ryback's made the big save at some independent show for Hornswoggle.
Oh,
It's a-
hold on. This just in, folks.
It is official.
Ryback has appeared at the local auto parts store. And now, other stories.
Where he beat up Hornswoggle. Dun, dun, dun.
Back to you, Rob. Hey, this Friday, finally the quest for the gold has been accomplished and has been achieved. The classic WCW World Heavyweight Championship from 1991 to 1993.
Well, let's wait till you get it first.
It's coming.
Let's get it in possession.
It will be here. It will be mine. Oh, yes. It will be mine.
Yeah. I mean, I'm digging it. I look, based off of the pictures, it looks to be some nice leather work and got little bends in it, like it's been worn and stuff.
I mean, it's a damn steal for the price, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just hope you're not, they didn't use the wide angle lens and it's really like
One
a
of the
plastic
minis.
kid's replicate. Oh, son of a mother.
So I got the belt today, guys, and it's approximately... I don't know how to say... There's no easy way to say this. It's only 13 inches long.
Hey,
The game's in the case for DS games, not like other games. Like, son of a mother.
can there be like a 24-hour rule on it?
Ooh, no. How about no?
Like, if we see you creeping out of Geico, we can come attack you and take your belt?
Oh, my God.
I mean, you got to wear it to work. You know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be the corner-to-corner 24-hour championship.
Or come up with some other name like that one title that's floating around.
Oh, the DDT Pro Iron Man Heavyweight title.
There you go. Come up with some name like that. We'll fight for it in like Walmart or something.
I don't want you clowns showing up while I'm sleeping taking my belt.
Oh, you wouldn't know. Because I would count the real quiet 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, but you guys would film it and put it on YouTube.
Oh, of course.
This just in, the title has changed hands again.
And then you would have to wake up all shocked and surprised. Like, where's my title?
No!
Mama, no!
He wakes up and there's lipstick marks on him and a note
Oh, see?
that says, thanks.
Thanks.
Where's my belt?
Wait a second, though, Rob. You were going to win the title. Why you put lipstick on him?
See?
As an illusion.
Not right.
I didn't say how the lipstick was on him.
Whoa.
You're taking us down a dark path.
A dark and lonely road.
I don't condone this behavior.
The opinions expressed on Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio
By
One
Rob
Pepper
Pepper.
are
But
only
like,
the opinions of him.
Oh, bite me. Now,
Is that with or without lipstick?
You know what's great is when one of us walks into something and doesn't see what we walk into.
Well, hello there.
And then realizes, oh, shit.
Damn it.
You know what I'm saying? Crap, I'm going to stand with lipstick.
You're going to do what?
Moving on.
Moving on.
I'm tired of talking about games.
All right, so
Stan's going to talk about Ryback again.
Oh,
see, it's like Beetlejuice. You keep it up, he's going to show up here.
that would be fun.
Man, what would you do?
Oh, by the way, he works at Geico.
Crap.
Yeah.
I'll get a call.
He's on your team.
I'll get a call and it'll just be, feed me more.
I'll talk to that Stan Grub.
No.
What if Even
I hear he's got this new international title that's like 24 hours.
yeah, even better, he'll bring the title to show us and leave it in his car and have it at work, and their Ryback will be like, "I'm here to get my title, boy."
Shell shocked on the car. Clench! Oh! And
they're
yet
like,
again, Ryback hurts another guy.
1, 2, 3. Ryback.
Oh, boy. Okay, so this is the go-home show for Monday Night Raw. Last-minute picks as we head to Clash of Champions. Because next Sunday is Clash of Champions, and we will be live.
Live.
We'll start from the main event, work our way backwards. Kevin Owens defending the title against Seth Rollins. Two-part question. First off, who keeps the title? Secondly, will there be any shenanigans? Will it be a triple threat or just a one-on-one?
Well, one, if anybody keeps the title, will be Kevin Owens. So you can't say, who keeps the title?
And two, this question has shenanigans.
This is a typical WWE loaded question.
Yeah, I got the same reaction Rob got. Who keeps the title? The champ keeps the title. That's what Kevin.
Okay, fine.
You can't fool me, jerk.
Will Kevin Owens successfully retain?
He can't even say it.
I know. All that lipstick talk got me all discombobulated. Will Kevin Owens retain the title?
Got him all tingly in his nether regions.
It moved. Will Seth Rollins win the title? Will there be shenanigans? Will it be a triple threat and the third member wins the title?
Again, this is shenanigans because now I'm going back in time to the original Batman show where at the end, the announcer would always ask these stupid questions.
Will Batman and the Boy Wonder escape?
Tune in next week to see Kevin Owens win the match.
Will he retain and become still the longest reigning Universal Champion?
Become still?
Yes.
Become still.
Shut up, damn it. I don't hear you asking any questions.
Somebody get that man Rosetta Stone.
Hooked on Phonics did not work for me.
Do you do that when people call in the Geico? We can get you still some insurance, but you might have to pay for it.
We'll get you insurance. Insurance is good. I mean, I hate for your insurance to get canceled because, you know.
You need that coverage.
That damn lizard's been alive for 100 years is what they tell me.
Here's a that man's got everlasting life.
Now, what rank is the lizard? Is he a general?
I don't know. No, that's the other guys.
Yeah, the general's the other guys. Just make it awkward.
I don't know how to answer this, so I'll just take a small bow and back away.
So now at work, when they give him that, you know, the Geico lie detector test, they'll be like, "Have you ever mentioned another insurance company?"
No, I haven't. I swear. It wasn't.
I was getting ready to say he'd be called in the office tomorrow to explain his talking about the general and promote another insurance company.
I would never do such a thing.
I know.
All right.
Now, Stan, if you're not regressive, what are you?
Regressive.
I'm not doing it. This is a trap. It's a trap.
Come on, Stan. What is it?
Oh, you made a Star Wars reference, didn't you?
It's a trap.
I bet the Millennium Falcon was insured by Allstate.
Oh.
I say there. Huh?
Or it might have been Progressive.
Nationwide.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You guys suck.
Hey, what's that thing Hey, Stan. What's that thing? What's that big statue in New York called? The statue of what?
Not doing it. Not doing it. I'm not playing your games, Mr. Hefner. All right.
Finish running us down.
Main event. Clash of Champions. Who wins? Does Kevin Owens retain?
Kevin Owens retained.
Does Seth Rollins win the title?
Seth Rollins win the title.
Or is there a triple threat?
Triple threat.
Brian, what do you think?
There is no. How's there a triple? What kind of booking is this?
You'd have to ask the McMahons. I don't have access to that stuff.
Didn't Roman get booted from the triple threat?
This is Stan holding out hope that he gets to see Roman Reigns in the main event.
Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns.
Why don't you just book Ryback? He just won his big match ever.
Jeez.
He's a porn swap.
See, Stan wants Roman Reigns to become world champion again, so he can have the Roman Reigns world title. You know, when you put it on, it just spits water and it's like.
Okay. So I'm guessing Rob says there's no triple threat. Brian says there's no triple threat. Well, gosh, I guess I'll say that. So who wins, guys?
Hey, Stan.
Sir.
Just to prove a point,
Mm-hmm.
Roman Reigns lost, so there's no triple threat.
Okay.
Not sure if you caught it. Maybe you fell asleep. Geico's hard work.
It is hard. It's a hard. It's hard, man. Hard work.
Yeah, there's no triple threat. So I say Kevin Owens wins.
Okay. Rob.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
Kevin Owens.
And I will agree. I will say Kevin Owens successfully retains, staying the longest running Universal Champion. Tag Team Championship match. The New Day defending against Doc Gallows,
Good.
Carl Anderson, The Club.
The Club.
The Club. The Club. Yeah, I think the Club's finally going to get their comeuppance. They're gonna win
And
the title.
I think there will be a new member. So
A
that,
new member.
yes. That way it will, the third member of the club will come down to help them beat the third member of the New Day.
Ah, I like it. I like it. Take
like
it one step
Doc.
further. Who's going to be the third member?
I don't know, but you like Yankee my wanky.
Rob.
I'm not yanking nobody's wanky what.
The dog will need food.
You'll smear lipstick, but you won't grab your Yankees wanky. I don't understand.
Brian needs to take his pills.
The purple pill?
Yeah, I don't understand that. He'll smear lipstick, but he won't Yankee the wanky.
Never said where the lipstick was going.
Whoa! I don't even know. All right, next matchup.
Who's the next member of the club?
The Club.
Oh, I don't know. I have to be. I think it has to be somebody that's not, on the roster per se.
Very nicely done.
All right, so a brand new, fresh face. Okay.
Yes.
Women's Championship match. Charlotte defending against Sasha Banks.
Ooh.
I think Dana Brooke causes Charlotte to lose.
Ooh.
Okay.
Ooh. That's a tough one. I'm going to have to reserve the right to go with the victor on that one.
Wait, what? You're going to reserve the right to go with the winner.
Next week after I watch the match. That's going to be a good one, I think.
So you don't know, you don't really have a prediction. You're just not sure.
Yeah, no, I'm going to just enjoy watching it for the sake of watching.
I think if Sasha Banks is healthy, she wins.
So,
Now, here's what we don't know so far. We don't know who the Cruiserweight champion will be defending against. We can assume that he'll be competing, so TJ Perkins will be competing, but we don't know who he defend against. And as far as other matches being made, I haven't seen any other matches made on the card just yet, except for Sheamus versus Cesaro. For the match, the deciding match, match number 7, as we're all predicting that it's going to get evened out this Monday, 3 versus 3, 3 points to each, or 3 wins each. Rob, does Cesaro complete the comeback?
Yes.
yes.
With all the hype they're building up with old Sheamus, yeah, he's going to beat it.
Brian, what do you think?
Cesaro.
Cesaro. You know what? I think they're actually going to go the way with Sheamus. I think they're still not convinced about Cesaro, even though the Cesaro section gets bigger and bigger by the week. I think Sheamus ends up winning.
Rooting for the big guy again, are you?
I'm not rooting for anybody. I'm just saying what I think's going to happen.
Mm-hmm. I like them big guys. Mm-hmm.
Oh, jeez. I'm going to kill you with a Kaiser blade. Some people call it a sling blade. Mm-hmm.
Mama said sometimes them guys are well endowed. Mm.
Oh, come on.
I guess Mama didn't mind what he was doing to her. So some folks call it a sling blade. I call it a Kaiser blade. You got some of them French fried taters.
You guys are messed up. People
We're
right
not
now.
messed up. You're messed up. You're the ones going Ryback. I like Ryback. I don't like Ryback. I like Ryback. I don't like Ryback. Mm-hmm.
We got fans over in France right now that are like, I don't know what the hell's going on. People in London are like, I'm turning this off.
Oui, oui. Mm.
Oh, there you go again,
Je
Brian.
m'appelle Brian.
Zoutalou.
There you go. Je m'appelle. Cancel.
Now we have officially insulted their international audience.
Oh gosh, I gotta say that every time I look at the stats, because I always want to know just who's listening and where is our audience from, and it continues to grow. So I'm very grateful for that. We are all very grateful for that. It's interesting when you look at some of the areas like Montana. We've got people listening in Montana.
Nice.
Aside from being listeners of Corner to Corner, and we thank you for that, can you guys think of anything else that happens in Montana?
Hey, listen. It's bad enough that me and Rob just insulted our international audience. Don't insult our domestic audience.
Fair enough.
And for that, next week, you're going to write a dissertation. On
What? On Montana?
Yeah, a dissertation.
Yeah.
You're right.
What?
You heard it right. A dissertation.
Oh my God. Montana's turned us off.
And you're going to keep an open mind about it, Stan.
Yeah.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Oh, boy. I don't even know what to say right now.
Behind you.
The cry back.
Guy.
Next week, you have to give us the top 10 things to do and places to visit in Montana.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
You cannot contact any audience members.
Well, daggone it. Hey, guys, guess what? We have, and you guys have seen the previews of it so far, an artist doing an awesome work for us to go on our upcoming T-shirt. What do you guys think of this image that's being drawn?
Put her shirt on.
I'm not going to get into this conversation on the air.
It's not hard to draw a line.
I like the fact that of all the three of us that are being drawn, Stan's the one that's drawn buff and without a shirt on.
Yeah.
And
with those glasses and and his Hogan python.
Yeah, the guy has to do the thinning hair on top of my head, but skips the whole Island O'Hare on Stan's face.
Rob, I mean, for years you picked on me and joked
For
with
years
me,
you've had the Island O'Hare.
and then suddenly, magically, that glorious hair that you had seemingly is retreating and has fallen back.
Yeah,
It's
So-
called heredity.
I mean, do you regret the mean-spirited comments you made to me?
They were never mean-spirited, jackass.
Oh, they were mean-spirited. They hurt. Words hurt, Rob.
Stan, you should take pride in your hair. Because I've only seen one other person with that type of haircut.
Yes, no!
Blink.
Hey, if it worked for him, it can work for me.
I know, that's why I'm saying.
It didn't work for him.
Well, sure it did.
All right, so Rob, did you catch it when we were texting the other day, and I said he needed to draw the shirt, and Stan's like, "Go ahead, put it on in just a second." And I bet you he still hadn't put it on.
And I don't know why he drew me without a shirt. It's not like I had sent him a picture of what I wanted and told him that I wanted to look like the 80s Hulk Hogan or nothing.
Yeah.
Well, actually,
I'm surprised he wasn't drawn with Shawn Michaels sunglasses. Little hearts.
I'll have to send him a note on that. That's a good idea.
Yeah. Why don't you send him a note on your belly?
I also like how I'm the size of I'm the size of the fucking Incredible Hulk. Like, should I just start the shows like, "Hi, my name is Rob. My hands are the size of Stan's head."
All right, that's not funny. He's gonna have to count this hard. So put a shirt on that man.
Back in the day where I didn't have the best dad bod in the business, Rob used to get mad every time I take my shirt off.
Well, that's because it was in Rob's shower.
Well, he shouldn't have invited me in there.
You were creeping up on him. Hi, Rob. Taking my shirt off.
And no matter how many restraining orders or protective orders, that man still showed up.
Rob kept saying he had trouble washing his back. I was trying to help the guy.
Stan would just slap on a new world title. I'm Ric Flair. I'm Hulk Hogan.
And it doesn't matter how many times you lock the door. He would still open it and come in. Climb in the window.
But officer, I was invited. I hate you guys. I just want you to know that.
Don't judge me.
Hey, it is what it is, I guess. I don't even know what
If
to
he's
say.
not going to draw a shirt on you, he has to draw a pasty on that nipple.
Alrighty then.
And the shark has been jumped, ladies.
All right, so Stan, did you happen to catch Adam Cole? Oh, yeah, Adam Cole on ESPN.
No, I have not. He's doing an interview with WWE on ESPN, their official department, I guess, now at ESPN for WWE, which is interesting because Adam Cole is not under contract that we know of.
Oh wow, that could be a big coup then.
Would
Sign him with the ROH World Title.
wow would you do that in today's wrestling industry? Sign a current champ?
You're damn right. I would.
And therein lies the third member of the club.
Exactly.
He
Great
is,
idea.
he is BC. What? I mean, I wouldn't necessarily like throw a title in the trash, but I would kind of do what Flair did. I would have him show up and present himself as the ROH World Champ, and here he is. Until they send my attorney something for cease and desist, he'd be defending the ROH title on my show.
Oh my gosh. Would you have him lose it to somebody?
No, because again, to me there's a line that I just wouldn't cross. You know what I'm saying? Throwing it in the trash, it doesn't only just like spit on the company you left, but to me it spits on everything. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And it's the same as, because basically this is like dirty pool. This would probably be the dirtiest pool you would ever play. But then it would be even worse because you would then have somebody from your company win it, and realistically there'd be no way for ROH to get it back.
We've got to crown a new champion. Why? Because we don't have our belt.
Yeah, we want our title back. Okay, well, we're not sending, Triple H down to ROH to defend the title. You know?
That would be
But
funny, have Triple H win the title.
But see, they would probably screw it up, and Jinder Mahal would win it.
Wow. Jinder Mahal.
ROH World Champion.
His resume never looked so good.
Yeah, and never lose it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I wouldn't do something like that. I would let him come in, run with the world title, and claim to be the real world champ, just like Flair did, and
Oh, wow.
try and hit lightning strike twice.
That would be
Well, I
awesome
mean-
to have him do that. Go ahead, Rob.
I mean, he could just say, hey, the club is everywhere. The club's just not here. Here's the hint. Here's the proof.
Yeah.
You know, but I also think the WWE has a working relationship with ROH that, I mean, that could possibly happen as long as, you know, the WWE promises not to disgrace or demean or demoralize the ROH World Heavyweight title.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other thing, too. They could, you know, this could be the start of a working relationship. They got one with Evolve and a couple of these other smaller ones.
That's right. I mean, that's where they came out with the Cruiserweight Classic. So you've got an opportunity with Ring of Honor to help them and help yourself at the same time. I agree. I think that's a great business move. So, guys, as we get ready to go ahead and close this out, final thoughts, shameless plugs, where can they catch up to you? Rob, what do you got?
Dan needs to put a shirt on.
Okay. Rob, where can they find you on social media?
That was short and sweet.
Right, to the point.
No.
Or something. We didn't try to get... There you go. I mean, I have a type of shameless plug.
Okay.
That I'm starting a GoFundMe page for hair plug for Stan.
Oh, ouch. Every time I envision, what was it, Deuce Bigelow, where they had the guy chip in on the guy's head with like a chisel to put hair plugs in.
Nah, I never watched Deuce Bigelow.
What?
It was below me. Hey, if Rob can get away with not watching Big Trouble in Little China, I can get away with not watching Deuce Bigelow.
Hey, it wasn't until a couple weeks ago that I actually watched the original Terminator. So,
see, I mean, if he can do it, I can do it.
That's true. That's true. Rob, where can they catch you on social media, sir?
At Rob Hefner on the Twitter, RDHEWP on the Facebook. I mean, on the Instagram, and Rob Hefner on Facebook, and C2C Radio Show on the Twitter.
Brian, how about you, sir?
Do we really have to go through this all the time?
I'm going to keep asking you until you get it right, damn it.
Well, I'll just say that I don't have Instagram because I don't want to see no nasty little dick pic show up.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Hey, Richard has been trying to send me pictures. I don't want Richard's pictures.
Okay. Where else can they catch up to you, buddy? Come on, Brian.
He's left the building.
The doctor is out. You can catch up Brian on Twitter at STRCB21.
CP.
Did I say CB?
Yes.
C.
Breaker 19.
P is in
There's a
Paul.
convoy coming.
STRCP21 on Twitter. Brian Taylor on Facebook. Corner to Corner Show on Facebook as well for the show. Rob already gave you the Twitter account for the show, as well as me. I can be found on Twitter at Stan from Krypton. And, of course, I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Corner to Corner. We really don't post a whole lot on Instagram except photos from shows we've been to. That's kind of been the only thing we put up there. And, of course...
Or if you try and find Stan at his work, you can find him under the boss's desk.
Wow. Wow. I'm not going to comment to that. Moving on.
7:05.
Moving on. Goodness gracious. Next week, of course, is Clash of Champions. We will be doing our simulcast. Giving our thoughts and opinions on the show as it happens. Hopefully, Eddie is back with us. If not, we will be on Spreaker.com, of course. You can always catch up to us on iTunes, BeyondRingside.com, ProWrestlingRadio.net. All of our shows are linked to Tumblr as well as SoundCloud and all points in between. Thank you so much for listening. We certainly appreciate each and every one of you, and we're excited to be
Even though he makes fun of the entire state of Montana.
Well, I mean, it's...
Yes, you did. Admit it, you did.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Montana.
And we're sitting here going, I mean, Brian and I embrace our listeners. We thank our listeners for taking time out of their day to listen to our show.
We speak their language.
We don't hate. There is no hate from Brian and Rob. There is nothing but hate and contentment from Stan if your name is not Ryback.
See, listen, watch, listen. This is how we embrace it. Croissants.
Beignet.
Oh my God.
Jalapeno.
That's
Business.
folks. That's it for Corner to Corner this week.
What we're having in Montana. 10 facts. Stan, that's how you're going to open the show next week.
10 facts about Montana.
Good.
We will see you next time right here on Corner to Corner Wrestling Radio. Thanks again.
Well, I guess we had listeners. Now they're going. Do what?
You guys are screwed up.
Yeah.
I never claimed to be sane.
Um,